Today we're visiting Pollard's farm and we'll be speaking to farm manager Kevin. They're doing things a little bit differently here. They're feeding to yield and they're also doing some interesting things with sex semen. So we're going to go find Kevin and have a chat. Kevin, hello, how are you?
Not so bad, George, and yourself?
Thanks for having me.
No problem at all.
So maybe give us a bit of an overview of the herd and what you're doing down here.
We're milking 180, I don't know what to describe them as. They're not high Holstein, they're not high EBI, they're a general type of cow, but they're a good yield out of them. I suppose that's our big thing, that they're not high type and they're not high EBI as such. We've calved kind of 85% at the moment is in the spring and 15 is in the fall, and that'll move to 50-50. That we'll calve half and half. Just for, we milk through because of labour units here and things, the manpower is here to milk through.
A lot of people are running away from milking through, but I mean, you seem to be running a good system here and you think it's worth your while.
Yeah, the milking through, I find it worth it. That because your cows are, like, drying off a cow that's calving in March, drying off beginning of December. I don't really understand that she's standing there for 3 months of the year doing nothing, eating stuff. So she might as well be producing milk. Yeah, I know with labour units on farms, it's different farms.
You say there's a general theme. We were looking at the stock there earlier. There's a general theme to your stock. They're big, they're strong, and they're milky. Maybe talk me through that. I mean, what kind of bulls are you using?
To be all, this year's mostly Holstein, and then there's a few Norwegian Reds to bring back down the Holsteins. I suppose that's the kind of the general run of it.
So you're seeing the benefits of selective dry cow now, I suppose, in the calving of the spring. You've set your benchmark at 140. How are you finding it now, the cows that you haven't used dry cow in?
We had 2 cows got mastitis in 1/4. Out that necessarily mightn't be. Some of the cows were dried off too high. We couldn't get them back down in yield. So one of them was actually one of the higher yields. We could not get her back down, and she just said milking off her back on straw. So the dry cow comes through selective dry cow comes through this time of year for that they're quicker back into the tank, and we had no real issues with it.
I suppose the whole process of milk recording and having someone come into the yard, maybe talk me through that. Like, how simple is it made for you? Is it a bit of an inconvenience? No,
there's no difference, especially now that they have it's a computerized recording. The Caroline comes in when we're milking, whatever time we go milking at, she'll come in and in the PM milking, and she'll come in and take our samples, and you wouldn't even notice in the parlour. And then she takes down the yields off the screens up along. Next morning then, there's no sampling in the second recording, it's just record the milk yield, that's all, the cow's number.
So you say that Caroline comes into the parlour and she works away herself. I know for my parlour, I'm like Spider-Man climbing up and down, double checking ear tags and that kind of thing. Do you freeze brand or?
Yeah, we freeze brand everything because it's just easier. If you're in the field, you're not going up to the cow. If the cow's bulling and you want to see what cow it is, the freeze brand, you can read them from whatever distance away that your eyesight is good enough. But it's a lot easier than trying to read a tag.
And talk me through freeze brand. How does it work? I mean, when do you do it?
We do it every 2 years. We do the first calvers and maidens. So we don't do it every year, every second year we do it, and he comes in and does whatever's to be done.
And talk to me maybe a bit about feed to yield. When have you started doing that?
It started in 15, started using the feed to yield system. I suppose the biggest benefit is getting cows back in calf from the point of view that the cows with the higher yields are actually getting fed properly to produce that milk. So they're not milking off their back, because they will, if you have a higher yielding cow, she take it off her back, she's not getting it through her mouth. She'll take it off the...
And do you think that saved you money? I mean, do you think there was cows before that you were feeding maybe that probably didn't need it?
Oh yeah, definitely. It was cows on 4. We were kind of flat rate 4 kilos across the board. But now there's cows on 2 because I know they will milk it off grass. The cows that will do it off grass get their bit of meal, come into the parlour, get their 2 kilos a day.
In terms of herd size, you're milking 180 here at the moment. Are you looking to push on from there?
Yeah, we'll go another row and see how we go on. From that point of view, like the land base is there to hold more, but we dry up in the middle of the summer, so we be careful with that as well, that we don't buy off more than we can chew.
Yeah, so you feed a lot, and I mean, I suppose bring back to that's self-explanatory in the sense that explain that a bit more in terms of you also grow an awful lot of your own fodder here.
We do, all the silage obviously, and the last year was the first year we didn't grow our maize, we contracted it out. We grow a lot of barley, well not a lot of barley, 60 acres or thereabouts, and yeah, that's kept for feeding, all the straw is kept for bedding and feeding to the cows as well. We grew a bit of wheat as well last year for the dye feeder as well. And the reason we grow barley as such is freshen up land, one thing, and then all our heifers are out wintered, all our replacement heifers. So these calves here will go out at 3 months old and won't come back until they're 21, 22 months old.
So we're talking about sex semen, and there's a lot of scepticism around sex semen, and anyone that I've spoken to is like, oh, use them in your heifers, use them in your young stock. But you've used sex semen across the herd and you've had a pretty good results. So maybe if you could tell us how you did it.
We used it on the mature herd last year. We didn't do any heifers, and we got 49% conception on it.
You said this year you used it all in your cows. Have you used it in heifers?
We did. We used it 2 and 3 years ago. We would have used it on the heifers. It's just the fact that last year was a kind of different things were happening, and we just had the Angus bull and we let him off him last year. This year now we'll be going back with sex semen to all the heifers.
I see here in the farm the cows all have heat detection collars. You're on top of your game in terms of heat detection. Will you find it more difficult, you reckon, heat detecting the heifers? How do you?
We estimate them to bring them in batches, and then they're 8 in batches, and they're matched then that the first group we do are repeating with the second group we do. So they're coming back in, but like the heifers they'll get 2 straws if they repeat. The cows only get 1 straw because we want the most fertile cows in the herd having a heifer calf. Generally the heifers are fertile, but of the cows you give them 1 straw, generally 1 straw across the board.
And the guys would say, there's such an extra cost. Oh, sex semen, it's expensive.
The way I look at it, back to the cow getting 1 straw, your most fertile cows will hold 1 straw. Therefore you're getting your heifer calf, you have a 90% chance of a heifer calf coming out of that cow. So you're breeding fertility into the herd automatically, even though you don't know it, you're breeding into the herd because your most fertile cows will hold to first serve. So then you're more or less guaranteed your heifer calf out of them.
So you think it's definitely worth that spend?
Oh yeah, definitely, absolutely.
So you've gone 50-50 split, you're going 50-50 split, you're using sex semen, you're breeding off your most fertile cows. I suppose another thing now, finishing off, would be kind of what are your tips for me? This place is different, it's a lot different to my farm in terms of I don't think I'd be able to grow the same kind of feed as you would up in the Wicklow Hills. But what would your advice for me being?
Get the cow that suits your farm and get the cow you're happy with. Like every farm is different. The neighbours around here, their farms they have a different type cow to us. It's the cow that suits your farm and the cow that you're happy with, I suppose, biggest thing.
Kevin, listen, it's been brilliant to come down here and see this. It's really, really impressive and thank you very much.
More than welcome.
Brilliant. Thanks a
million.
million. So that brings our series of videos to a close. I'd like to thank everyone for coming along on our journey and watching throughout. I suppose there's a few take-homes for me. I started out this journey kind of, wondering where I was going wrong and looking for advice and looking for tips off some of the best farmers around, some of the guys that are at the top of their game. And some of the big take-homes for me and important things is firstly is milk recording. All the farmers that we've went to milk recorded, they all spoke about the importance of it, and they all spoke about the importance of knowing what animals that have high cell count, knowing what animals to treat, knowing what animals to pick out and breed from. So again, bringing home the same message, knowledge is power. So milk recording was a big one. The next one is kind of keeping all that information together, and that kind of ties into the herd app and what the herd app does. You've got your milk recording coming straight into your app, your high cell count cows coming in as a notification, and also going forward it helps with the selective dry cow, which a lot of the guys were talking about, which again was saving money, milk back into the tank earlier, which I thought was really, really important. And then of course the biggest one and the thing that they all had in common was AI. They all use AI, they're all using the top bulls, and they're all focusing on EBI in some way, shape or form. Some guys are focusing a little bit more on the milk end of things, but kind of what rang through for me the most was fertility, and you know, how EBI, it does the hard work for you, in the sense that if you're unsure about things, it's simplified. You can look at the EBI figures, you can look at the breakdown, and you know, it's something that maybe I wouldn't have looked at before this journey, but something I'm really going to focus on now. And then finally, something that I'm kind of weak on, which kind of you take for granted a little bit, is grass, how important grass is, and kind of, you know, the profitability that's there if you focus properly on grass. And yeah, keeping things simple. They all spoke about keeping things simple, and how their systems work for them. So listen, again, thank you for coming on the journey. I hope you guys got something out of it. I know I certainly did, and I hope in a year's two's time, when I have this place humming, I can bring the lads up and show them what I've done and what I've done with the place. So sláinte. Don't do that as a sign off. It's Pat, how are you?
Hey, no bother.
Paddy,
Fine.
Paddy, we'll do that again.
Well, I don't know what your name is at the moment.
So, hi guys, my name, I won't say hi guys, I'll just say hi. How's that? Is that all right? So hi, my name is George Beattie, and I'm going to, okay, start again, right. So today I'm here visiting Kevin Clare, where, yeah, it's, okay, right. Kevin has a really, really impressive calving interval, and also has really impressive fertility. No, okay. Fair play to you, Kevin. So today we're just outside Gorey, and we're going to talk to Kevin Murphy. Kevin is milking 280 crossbred Jersey cows, and he's just on the cusp of silly season, right? For sake.